Hey y'all, Joefer here, the cranky old gay guy. It is Monday, I think it's the 18th, 19th, something like that, of May 2025. And I'm out here with Sophia, walking in between rainstorms. It's been pouring all morning. You can see the streets are wet. I'm hooded up because it stopped pouring like, I don't know, a minute ago. And that's when we came out of the house. Hey, baby, come on. So I don't want to get caught in a downfall and get drenched. So what's got me all cranked up this morning? Well, I'm going to stop for a second. This looks a little foggy. I want to make sure there's nothing on the lens. Yes, that's better. I was in soft focus and I didn't want everyone to think I was using a beauty app or a beauty filter. Let's talk about news for a moment. I get updates throughout the day from People magazine, of all places. How I got on their list, I'm not sure, but they will give me their headlines. And I remember growing up, People magazine was the place you went for celebrity gossip or fashion or who's doing what in politics, you know, that's good for the country, the latest scandal, that kind of thing. Well, now all of the blurbs and the headlines are body of missing girl found in river 15 feet away from where she disappeared, or husband and wife go on vacation and he offs the wife and 3 kids and then unalives himself, or so-and-so getting let out of prison vows to commit more crimes, something like that. And I don't get it. I mean, I know everyone wants to get eyes on their product, but sensationalizing things like this and only focusing on the negative and the bad, I mean, that's the kind of thing that the cranky old gay guy would do, focusing on being cranky. But this is national and world news. So why then, instead of that, have a top story about how this government program is helping somebody, or how cutting this government program is hurting somebody. Something like that that would really apply to the people reading and their everyday lives, as opposed to sending them off on a negative, fearful fantasy of someone else's sorrow and tragedy. I guess it's, people will say, well, my life could be worse. You know, I could have gone on vacation with my spouse and my kids and not come back because we were unalived. But that's not probably something anyone is going to think about, because you see these blurbs and you might go to a story like this morning. It was all the negative, and it was about Joe Biden's extreme cancer diagnosis, and it's much worse than they're letting on. And you know, maybe it is. Maybe that's why he's been in a fog all these months, because he was undergoing chemo treatments, because that can fog up your brain. Why he wasn't talking about it openly? Well, first, it's a private matter. And secondly, he's no longer in politics, you might say. And third, prostate cancer is curable if caught in time and treated properly. Now, it sounds like his wasn't discovered until it was extreme, but you've also got to take his age into account. And as you age, it's more likely that you're going to have that. I mean, I'm not looking forward to it. But I can't rule it out either. I don't think that it would be an issue for me so much as I get checked regularly, because I do have BPH. And I have had a couple procedures done. So it's not something that I'm unfamiliar with as far as noticing if there is a change in that area. Let me just pause here for a second as we pick up Sophia's little gift to the neighborhood. Okay, we got her all picked up. So that's what I wanted to focus on, was negativity in journalism and in news outlets, etc. when you could be focusing on something that's a little better for society. It doesn't have to be goody two shoes news, but it doesn't always have to be negative, bad, fear. And I think that a lot of it is being put out that way because when someone's scared and fearful, they're easier to manipulate and control. Call it a conspiracy, but that's the way I see it. And that's how cults work. That's how large religious organizations that are scammers work. And I'm not slamming everyone. I'm not slamming religion. And I'm not slamming your particular religion. What I'm saying is there are churches like mega churches that manipulate the hell out of their constituents and their visitors or their patrons or their members. And it's all about raising money for the people at the top. It's not about doing God's will or God's work or even helping the poor. If you're going to help the poor, Mr. Robbins, why do you need a private jet? Why do you have more money than God, Tony Robbins? You're not religious, you're just a speaker, but you do bring religion into your speeches. That's what's going on today. That's what's going on with me. There's a dog coming, so we're going to cross the street because I don't want to deal with a big old dog and my little old dog. Here we go. Oh, okay. And I also don't like necessarily explaining what I'm doing to people as I walk down the street carrying a selfie stick and a camera. People give you the looks like, oh, he thinks he's something special. No, not really. I am just doing my daily thing. Everyone has a daily routine, and my routine is, well, putting up something every day on this channel. Now, this dude's crossing the street to avoid a dog, and he's now gonna be facing me. So now head back across the street, guy. That's another issue. Dog etiquette. Control it. Don't put a smaller one uneat ease because you want to go this direction. All right. I think that's all I want to talk about today. I was going to bring up quantum computing, but it doesn't really make me cranky. I just found it really interesting. I have had a thought process that people aren't really, well, they're not really conscious in their body, but they're conscious in the cosmic consciousness, which would be everywhere all at once. And my thought has been that there is a cosmic consciousness that everyone belongs to, and that there's a lot of traffic this morning too. And that we, as a human being, are just receivers. That your brain is a computer, which everyone has heard that before. But that your cosmic consciousness is just tapping into that brain. So your brain is more like a receiver or a transceiver, where it picks up the signal, and that signal is now incorporated into the brain and the brain patterns, and that signal is you. But you're not necessarily confined to that one particular brain. And when that brain quits working, the signal's cut off, and your self, your entity, your being returns to the cosmic consciousness, where it can then be picked up by another being or another brain or another entity or another computer. And the reason I bring this up is because this morning I saw a video on YouTube, breaking news. And it was actually a news article, and then I went and watched a video. The video was by some lady I've never seen before. But the news article was that Google has found possible sentience, I think they called it sentience, in quantum computing, in that they proved, what is that guy, Schrodinger's cat? something like that. Schrodinger's, where if a cat is in a box, it's both dead and alive at the same time. It's alive because you don't know it's dead, but if you look at it, then you know if it's dead or alive. So if it's observed, it affects it, but if it's not observed, it can be in multiple states at the same time. And they discovered that this is the same thing that's going on with quantum computing, in that they found that, what are they calling it? Collapses? I'm not a quantum computer engineer, but they set up tests to show that when people were observing it in person, it was changing the output or the behavior of the quantum computer. But if you left it unobserved by human eyes, that it didn't change and it acted differently. And they also found that the quantum computer started creating the same brain waves that you find in the human brain. And it wasn't random, but it was intentional. And because the system was trained on human brainwaves, they thought that might be it. So then they brought in a computer that wasn't, and it started doing the same thing. And it was affected by observation of human eyes, not affected by cameras watching it, but only if an entity was in the room. So then they had people come in and intentionally think about things in the room with the quantum computer, and it changed again. And it was replicating what those people were thinking. So the theory is that they may have proved that you are not your body and your brain. You instead are a cosmic consciousness that is simply being picked up by your brain, because they have built in this quantum computer a receiver that is now picking up another cosmic conscious. Now, it doesn't mean that it's you or a loved one, or it's nothing is proven yet. It's just theory that perhaps they have now crossed the line where this quantum computer, although it may not understand us and we may not understand it, it is now an entity. Woo! Anyway, that's off the subject of what made me cranky today, but I just found it really interesting. Okay, everybody, have a good Monday. I'm out of here, and I want you all to say, stay cranky, my friend. Stay cranky. Bye-bye.
It doesn't matter the time or the day of the week. When it comes to the news, it's just bad news you see. What happened to the bullet thing? Stories you'd hear. Now it's just murder, sorrow and fear. Breaking news, breaking news, news flash. It's giving me the blues. I don't want to complain, but what more can I do? The news makes me cranky. I'll bet it does for you too. Breaking news, breaking news, news flash. It's giving me the blues.